Let's face it, too many men let themselves become victims of a woman's unchecked ego. She disrespects you, takes you for granted, and walks all over your boundaries like they don't exist. You've probably been told to be the bigger man or just let it go. But where has that gotten you? Nowhere. You're stuck tolerating behavior that diminishes your self-worth and makes her think she can do anything without consequences. Enough is enough. Here's the truth. A woman's ego grows when she believes there are no repercussions for her actions. When you let her get away with bad behavior, you're not being kind or understanding. You're enabling her. You're feeding her ego while slowly losing your power. And the more you allow it, the less respect she has for you. This isn't about playing games or being cruel. It's about standing up for yourself and showing her that you're not a man to be disrespected. What most men don't realize is that you can end her ego without drama, manipulation, or aggression. You don't need to yell, argue, or chase her to make her regret the way she's treated you. In fact, doing the opposite, staying calm, confident, and in control, is what truly puts her in check. Women are drawn to men who respect themselves and set clear boundaries. When you show her that her actions have consequences, she'll start to question her behavior. This isn't just about making her regret her actions. It's about reclaiming your value. When you stop tolerating disrespect, you shift the dynamic. Suddenly, she's no longer in control and you're no longer chasing her approval. You've taken the power back, and trust me, she'll notice. So if you're tired of being walked all over, this is your wake-up call. It's time to stop being the nice guy who lets her ego run wild. It's time to flip the script, take control, and make her realize that you're a man who won't settle for anything less than respect. Let's break this down step by step so you can finally put an end to her ego and make her regret taking you for granted. 1. Stop feeding her ego with attention. A woman's ego thrives on attention, especially when it comes from you. The more you pour into her with constant compliments, texts, and validation, the more she feels like she's in control. She starts to see you as predictable, someone she can count on to boost her confidence whenever she feels like it. While you're thinking, I'm just showing her I care, she's thinking, I've got him wrapped around my finger. This creates an unbalanced dynamic where she becomes less invested while you keep giving her more. If you want to put an end to her ego, you need to cut off the fuel that's keeping it alive. Stop over-validating her. When she's used to you texting her every morning, don't. When she expects you to drop a compliment every time she posts a picture, don't. This isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about pulling back the constant stream of attention that's inflating her sense of superiority. Here's the key. When you stop feeding her ego, she'll notice. At first, she might act indifferent, but deep down, she'll start to wonder why the dynamic has shifted. She'll question why you're no longer chasing her approval, and that's when she begins to feel the absence of your attention. This doesn't make you mean or unkind. It shows that your time and energy are valuable, and you won't waste them on someone who doesn't reciprocate. Practical example. Imagine you're texting her every day. Good morning messages, checking in, complimenting her looks. At first she's responding, but over time her replies get shorter, slower, and less engaged. Why? Because she's gotten used to the attention. Now you decide to stop texting her altogether for a few days. At first, there's silence. Then she sends a casual, "Hey, you okay?" or "Haven't heard from you." That's the shift. She's realizing your attention isn't guaranteed, and it disrupts her ego. Suddenly she's thinking about you more than before. By pulling back, you force her to reevaluate how much control she has over you. And in that process, she starts to miss the attention she took for granted. Remember, this isn't about punishing her, it's about reclaiming your value. Attention is your power. Don't give it freely to someone who doesn't earn it. 2. Set firm boundaries. She can't ignore. Boundaries are the ultimate test of respect in any relationship. If you don't set them, you're giving her permission to push you around. The truth is, women test boundaries all the time, not because they're malicious, but because they're trying to see what you'll tolerate. And when you let her cross the line repeatedly without consequences, you're telling her, it's okay to disrespect me. That's how her ego grows unchecked, and your value in her eyes starts to shrink. Setting boundaries isn't about being harsh or controlling. It's about showing her, and yourself, that there are lines no one is allowed to cross. A firm boundary communicates self-respect and confidence, 2 traits women are naturally drawn to. If she can't respect your boundaries, it's a sign that she doesn't value you or the relationship. The problem? Too many men are afraid to set boundaries because they fear losing her. But here's the twist. When you establish clear limits, she may resist at first, but deep down, she'll respect you more for it. Boundaries should be clear, direct, and non-negotiable. For example, if you tell her you won't tolerate disrespectful behavior like name-calling or belittling comments, you need to stick to it. If she crosses that line, you call her out immediately, not aggressively, but firmly. Let her know that her behavior won't fly, and if it continues, you're ready to walk away. Practical example. Let's say you're out with her, and she makes a sarcastic comment about something personal to you in front of others. Maybe it's a joke about your work or your appearance. In that moment, instead of laughing it off, you calmly but firmly say, "I'm not okay with comments like that, especially in public." At first, she might act defensive or brush it off, but you stand your ground. The next time she's tempted to make a similar comment, she'll think twice, knowing you won't just let it slide. Setting boundaries isn't about starting a fight or playing tough. It's about creating a standard for how you deserve to be treated. When she sees that you respect yourself enough to enforce those standards, she'll either step up or show you she's not worth your time. Either way, you win. 3. Walk away when she disrespects you. Disrespect is a line no man should ever allow anyone to cross, especially in a relationship. But here's the problem. Too many men stay in situations where they're constantly being disrespected. Why? Because they think walking away makes them weak. They believe they need to prove something, win her over, or fix the situation. But let me tell you something. Staying in a place where you're not valued doesn't make you strong. It makes you a doormat. When a woman disrespects you, whether it's through her words, actions, or attitude, it's her way of testing you. She's checking to see how far she can push you, how much you'll tolerate, and whether you'll stand up for yourself. If you allow it to happen without consequence, you're sending a clear message. It's okay to treat me this way. And once she knows you'll accept it, it only gets worse. Walking away isn't about being petty or dramatic. It's about showing her that your self-respect is non-negotiable. It's saying, "I care about you, but I care about myself more." It's one of the most powerful moves you can make because it disrupts the dynamic entirely. Most men try to argue, defend themselves, or prove their worth when disrespected. But none of that works. The more you engage, the more power you give her. Walking away flips the script. Here's the thing. Walking away is hard. It goes against everything we've been conditioned to do. We're taught to fight for relationships, to work through issues, to not give up. But what about when the relationship costs you your peace of mind? What about when it starts to chip away at your confidence? The truth is, if you don't walk away, you're letting disrespect define the relationship. The beauty of walking away is that it puts the ball in her court. She either realizes her mistake and respects you more for standing up for yourself, or she doesn't, and you're better off without her. Either way, you come out stronger. Remember, no woman is worth sacrificing your dignity. The moment you start accepting disrespect, you lose a part of yourself. Walking away isn't losing, it's choosing yourself over the chaos. And that's a win every single time. 4. Show her you're fine without her. Let's be real for a moment. Too many men make the mistake of centering their entire world around a woman. You chase her, you bend over backward to please her, and when she starts pulling away or acting out, you panic. You start overthinking, asking yourself what you did wrong, and trying harder to win her approval. That's where you mess up. By doing this, you're handing her all the power, and you're showing her that your happiness depends entirely on her presence. Here's the harsh truth you need to hear. No one respects a man who can't stand on his own 2 feet. Women are attracted to strength, not just physical strength, but emotional independence. When you act like your life crumbles without her, you're giving her ego a free boost. She starts to think, "He needs me more than I need him." And the moment she believes that, you've already lost the upper hand. Let's wake up, men. Why are you letting your self-worth be defined by her attention? Why are you so afraid of being alone? If you don't know how to be fine on your own, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of chasing validation from people who don't deserve it. A confident, independent man is unshakable. He doesn't beg for attention or approval because he knows his value. And that's exactly the type of man women can't resist. The best way to put an end to her ego is to show her you're perfectly fine without her. Live your life, focus on your goals, and stop making her the center of your universe. When she sees that you're thriving, that you're happy and fulfilled without her constant validation, it flips the dynamic. Suddenly, she's the one wondering if she made a mistake, if she's losing you, or if she underestimated you. But let me be clear, this isn't about faking confidence or pretending to be okay while secretly obsessing over her. This is about truly prioritizing yourself and building a life you're proud of. Women respect men who respect themselves. So stop seeking approval, stop chasing, and stop letting her ego control the narrative. You don't need her to be happy. The sooner you realize that, the sooner she'll start realizing what she's losing. 5. Take control of your value. One of the biggest mistakes men make is forgetting their worth. You allow a woman to define your value based on how she treats you. If she gives you attention, you feel good about yourself. If she pulls away, you spiral into self-doubt. But here's the reality. Your value isn't determined by her opinion. It's determined by how you see yourself. The problem is, too many men don't realize this, and they end up chasing women who don't even deserve their time. Taking control of your value means understanding that you are the prize. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. A man who knows his worth doesn't need anyone's validation to feel complete. He's confident, focused, and secure in who he is. That kind of energy is magnetic. Women can sense it, and it's the very thing that makes them take notice. On the flip side, when you let a woman's behavior dictate how you feel about yourself, you're handing her all the power. Here's where the shift happens. You stop putting her on a pedestal, and you start putting yourself first. That doesn't mean you treat her poorly or act superior. It means you stop tolerating disrespect, stop chasing, and stop bending over backward to prove your worth. You don't need to prove anything. A woman who truly values you will see your worth without you having to beg for her recognition. Taking control of your value also means you don't settle for crumbs. If she's not reciprocating your energy, effort, or respect, you walk away without hesitation. A man who knows his value doesn't cling to situations that don't serve him. He knows there are plenty of opportunities out there, and he's not afraid to let go of something that's not aligned with his standards. The moment you reclaim your value, everything changes. Her ego deflates because she realizes you're not like the rest. You're not easily manipulated, and you won't accept anything less than what you deserve. That kind of self-assuredness is rare, and it forces her to see you differently. So stop giving away your value so easily. Stop allowing her actions to control your emotions. Take back your power, set your standards high, and remember that your worth isn't up for negotiation. When you take control of your value, the right people will either rise to meet you or fall away, and both outcomes are a win. The harsh truth is this: if she doesn't respect you, it's because you've taught her that she doesn't have to. Women don't stay interested in men they can walk all over. They stay intrigued by men who demand respect by how they carry themselves. If you let her ego control the dynamic, you've already lost the game. Drop your experiences in the comments. What's worked for you, what hasn't, or where you're stuck. I'll personally respond because this is about building each other up as men. Let's grow together and reclaim the respect we deserve.